Welcome back to the PowerMax Mini Challenge from the Brands Hatch Mini Festival. Now, aside from the superb racing, which we'll have more of in just a moment, the championship boasts an impressive hospitality tent. I managed to catch up with director Julia Hanley-Phillips just as lunch was being served up.
So with Mini Challenge, I was helping with Team Aim Higher and Pete Diamond last year with the PowerMax Mini Challenge. I was approached by Anthony Williams, the race director, and because I think he sort of saw how we would organise our team and those things, and we also do other events as well. So really it was, he approached me and we had conversations about how we could make it work, it's all new for 2015, so it's all great fun.
You mentioned the organisation, and we can see it in action actually behind you. I've got to ask you, because it's beautiful food, beautifully served, and you've got quite a small area outside that you do it all in. How do you do it?
For me, I think it's if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All the events that we organise, a lot of time goes into the logistics and sort of the menus and all those aspects of that. We're not on one of the hospitality suites with a view. However, I have compromised to bring the level of food into that.
And while we're on the subject of food, I'm eyeing it up already because it looks amazing. What is on the menu today? I understand there's a theme for today's menu.
Absolutely. With it being Mini Festival, we went with the best of British menu. So we have all the everything sourced from the British Isles. We have traditional roast beef, we've got spiced roast chicken, we've got red cabbage, we've got the peas, we've got the Yorkshire puddings, we've got roast potatoes, so it's a full English roast dinner, British roast dinner. Really for me it's to bring a real community feel into motorsport, because Mini is a British heritage brand, so for interactions between fans, the drivers eat in here as well, so they're getting those real close interactions to create memories for people, and that's what I really wanted to create.
Importantly, if people want to take part in the hospitality and seeing this, they are going to want to. What do they need to do to get a package?
Yeah, we've got great value packages on our website, which is www.minichallenge.co.uk. Head for the hospitality.
Well, our drivers should be suitably refreshed courtesy of the Mini Challenge hospitality. So it's time for the Cooper class to have one last outing on the tarmac here at Brands Hatch. It's a reverse of the top 5. One thing's for sure, Ricky Page will be fighting for first.
There is Ricky lining up from 4th on the grid. As a late attendee is Max Bladen, who now rolls into position at the front of the field. Let's have a look then how they line up. Don't forget it's the top 5 from the earlier race reverse. So Bladen and Walton on the front row, then Wakefield and Page. Nathan Harrison, Henry Neal, a very strong 3rd row. Darren Chatt and John Attard. Wait for the cars to be released, and away we go now. Well, Bladen slightly out of position and he gets bogged down at the start. It's a very good getaway from Ricky Page, but also from Simon Walton. It's Walton from 2nd on the grid who leads into paddock for the first time. Bladen gets his elbows out and maintains 3rd, but already Ricky Page onto pursuit of Walton, draws alongside, climbing up towards Druids, and Ricky Page in the space of 2 corners moves from 4th to 1st. There is Grace Williams doing battle with Max Lever in the midfield. Also the bright yellow car of Henry Neal looking to make ground early on, but already Page leads and is breaking away from Walton. Then it's Bladen and Mark Wakefield, with John Attard putting a little bit of pressure on to Nathan Harrison, slightly lower down the pack, but we saw Harrison comes good late on in the race. There is Darren Chatt in the green and black car. He has got Henry Neal and the rest of the field all forming a disorderly queue behind him. So they come out of Clark Curve onto the Bradman Straight and through to complete the first lap of the race. And this, the final race of the PowerMax Mini Challenge here at the Mini Festival Brands Hatch, is going to be a bit of a cracker. The gloves well and truly off as Bladen challenging Walton down through Paddock Hill Bend, taking the high line this time. It doesn't quite work for him in terms of the switchback climbing up towards Druids. He goes for the move late on, but Walton was well aware, I think, that was coming, and therefore moved across, cut the line and held on to 2nd place. So this is the fight for second and third. Race leader Ricky Page trying to break clear. Then in fourth and fifth, it's the dark car of Mark Wakefield. He has got double winner from earlier in the weekend, Nathan Harrison, just behind him. And again, this is where tactics start to come to the fore. They've got to work together. So they did in race one to close the gap down to Ricky Page. Max Bladen though decides enough's enough. Decides to swap wing mirrors with Walton, and Simon Walton elbowed off through the gravel trap. He's going to keep his right foot planted and rejoins in about 6th place and joins the Henry Neal train. So Adam Davey part of that. Meanwhile, they're all queuing up behind Max Bladen into Paddock Hill Bend. Wakefield to one side, Harrison to the other. Bladen sticks middle of the road. The car has a bit of a bobble and goes around. Bladen spins, Wakefield off in avoidance, and over goes Max Bladen. Oh dear. Also caught up in that is John Attard and Adrian Norman, who clatters into Attard's car. And that's 4 of them in the gravel trap. The safety car an inevitability, the red flag quite a strong possibility, one would suggest. And indeed, out comes the red flag as the marshals get to work. So in car with Max Bladen, and the car just a little bit unsteady on the brakes. You can see there that correction pre-apex. It means that he's going round well into his accident, into the gravel trap, which does its job, but the car kicks in, over he goes. But looks as if he's going to be ready for the restart. They build these Mini Coopers of strong stuff, and the team getting to work, and Bladen will be back in the race. So a slightly depleted field as the red lights flash out now, and away we go for the second time of asking, and this time from pole position. Ricky Page rockets into the early advantage ahead of Nathan Harrison. That's Henry Neal into third, just ahead of Adam Davey and Darren Chapp. As rejoining from the pit lane is Max Bladen, so he will be out on the hunt for points. They climb up towards Druids, and Ricky Page and Nathan Harrison, they have been really the two protagonists throughout the season, as James Goodall, a little bit lower down the order, looking to let himself a couple of places. Meanwhile, Max Lever under pressure from both Darren Chatt and Martin Poole, as they, in fact it's Grace Williams who's losing those places, and I think she's lost out to Chatt, possibly not to Poole. It's Lever who is the next target. He's just behind Henry Neal, and then it's the blue car of Adam Davey, and Davey has been very quick on occasion this year, and he's there in third. Now what can he do without breaking away from Henry Neal and possibly closing up to Ricky Page and Nathan Harrison? Of course, it's a slightly shorter duration, this restarted race. They've got only 15 minutes to sort themselves out as Max Lever draws alongside Henry Neal now as they head down through Paddock Hill Bend. Meanwhile, Darren Chapp, Grace Williams, Martin Poole and Simon Walton having an absolutely super scrap. This is how the start looked from Martin Poole's perspective. He goes off into the deep end as Poole, as he smoothly moves up through the gears, doesn't gain any places, but is well positioned to pick his line through Paddock Hill Bend. Nicely judged first corner, no risks taken, and therefore the car in one piece the remainder of the race. Meanwhile, in the fight for fourth, running wide was Neal. That allows Lever to challenge Martin Poole. There he is, tucked up behind the silver car of Simon Walton. You don't really know where to look, do you, for the battles in this race, because they are coming at it from all angles as Lever hurtles to the inside of Henry Neal through Paddock Hill Bend. Almost runs out of road on the exit though, as they climb uphill to Druids, and again Neal looks for a move. Lever sees him coming, gives him racing room, and that's the beauty of the Power Max Mini Challenge. The driving is invariably fair. They do give each other the space that they need, and so Lever holds on to the position. Here is the progress, meanwhile, of Max Bladen. I suspect it feels a little bit drafty. Here is the race leader, Ricky Page, well clear of Nathan Harrison, as behind it gets very tight between Lever and Davey. This is the fight for third. Adam Davey defending robustly, you would suggest, from Max Lever. The result of all of that though is that Davey holds into third place, Lever is in fourth, and once more back under pressure from Henry Neal. Meanwhile, Grace Williams still fighting with Martin Poole, and also coming through the field another slightly battered, scarred car. That is Mark Wakefield, who was involved in the incident over at Paddock Hill Bend that brought out the red flag. And Wakefield making steady progress up the order. He should score some points as a result of this. Meanwhile, the fight for third remains equally ferocious, as now Max Lever is back onto terms with Adam Davey, and you'd suspect not minded to be particularly charitable. None of that, however, is of any concern to Ricky Page. He heads through clearways for the final time. He's been bested twice this weekend by Nathan Harrison, but now it's Ricky Page's turn to take victory at the Brands Hatch Mini Festival, and he does that in some style. He wins it from Harrison in second place, but who will get third in? It looks like it's going to be Lever. There's a problem for Adam Davey, and Davey is slowing, and that's why damage to the front left suspension. So Max Lever takes third in the final spot on the rostrum, an excellent fourth to Henry Neal. Thumbs up from Ricky Page to Nathan Harrison. They have given us some super entertainment. Let's have a look then at the final results, with the win for Ricky Page, second place Nathan Harrison, and completing the podium Max Lever, a fine fourth for Henry Neal, and the scarred car of Adam Davey in fifth. Mark Wakefield an excellent seventh. So Ricky Page receives the trophy and takes his place on the top step of the podium. He enjoys and celebrates with the champagne.
We have had a bit of a difficult start. We had a bit of contact in the first race, which put us off the circuit. So I managed to get it home in fourth, which I lost the all-important championship points that I needed. We were second. Were we second in the second race? And then I came home first in that one. So yeah, a good finish to a bit of a challenging weekend.
Yeah, I'm over the moon to come away with 2 wins in the second, and plus we popped in the fastest lap on the last race. That's an extra 3 points.
It was defending quite hard. I sort of had a fair move done a couple of times, and he sort of forced his way on. So I let him go, and just picked my moment at the end to throw it up the inside. He tried to close the door, but the car was there. It wasn't moving. He turned onto me, and I managed to get it across the line. So yeah, it was a good race.
Well, with just 3 events remaining, it couldn't be much closer in the championship, could it? Because Ricky Page is just 2 points clear of Nathan Harrison, with Mark Wakefield in third ahead of Simon Walton and Max Bladen.
The way that the grid lines up then, if you want to...
Entertaining stuff from the Cooper class as ever. Loads of drama. Of course, we had to restart the race. Thankfully, all the drivers that were involved in that incident are all right, and I have to say, well done to Max Bladen for completing the race despite not having a windscreen. I guess that's what you call natural air conditioning. We'll be back after the break for one more race with the Gen 3s and JCWs.